Welcome to the Stay Healthy Experience. This is Robert Ferguson, and soon we'll be joined by my co-host, Miss Barbara Kris. They call her BK. Now, today we have something very cool for you. It's a conversation with someone who is on her way to the top. I mean, some people would argue and say she's already there, but we're gonna learn a lot. I mean, all the way from Australia, she's bringing it. I mean, if you're a rapper and you think you got it, hey, you better check her out first because there's a new sheriff in town. Watch out, Cardi B. Let's get this party started. All right, we are in the studio, and yes, it feels like we have someone that came all the way from Australia, Barbara. All the way. Just to be here on this show.
I know. I feel so special.
See, we just never know who's going to show up here. And when I saw you rapping,
Right.
okay, for those who don't know what that means, it's a poem with music.
Yeah, basically.
Heartfelt.
I mean, you are like the real deal.
What makes you say I'm the real deal? What gave you that impression?
The energy that you put off when you walked into the door.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of people who are wannabes. And as I share with you, I've been around a lot of rappers. I mean, a client friend of mine, Chuck D,
Right.
it doesn't get more real than that.
No.
So I have a pretty good idea if it's real.
Yeah, that's why I thought I'd just ask you, because I just wanted to see your opinion. Because a lot of people have told me that before. They say my persona. I'm like the type of person that I could walk into a room. I'm humble. I'm very nice. But the energy that I do give off, you know, without speaking, I could establish who I am as a human being.
Authentic.
Nice.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so for people who are meeting you for the first time,
Yes.
right, which we're meeting you for the first time,
Yes.
kind of, how do you introduce yourself? Like, what's your story? Like tell us who you are.
Well, to give you a little bit of explanation on my background and my history, as a little girl, I was very, I grew up in a tight-knit family. That was very important to me, so I love my family. And not to go into too much detail about one part of my life, but I kind of grew up without a father. My mother raised my brother and I because he was incarcerated for, pretty much most of my life. He only just was released from jail probably like a year ago. Mm-hmm. And that played a big role in shaping me who I am today. I grew up very strong. Like, I never relied on anybody. I never asked anybody for any help. My mother always obviously was there to support her children, but I always kind of felt like now that my father left, I had to become something. And to this day, to this very second, whilst I'm sitting here with you guys, that's what I truly believe. I feel like there's not too many women like me out there as well, because I feel like I'm a go-getter. Even if I was with a man in my life, most women, share responsibilities and stuff like that. I'm the type of person, and everybody has a different opinion on this, but I'm the type of person that even if somebody was there to support me from my life experience, I would still go out and get it myself. I feel like I need to make an impact on the world. So I basically started acting from a very young age. I was probably like 9 years old.
Okay, now, but where is all this taking place? In Australia, right?
In Australia.
Mm-hmm.
What part of Australia?
Melbourne, Australia.
Okay,
so
nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm from Melbourne, Australia. That's where I grew up most of my life until I came here.
Yeah.
Now I'm here.
And so, like, sorry, I mean, we got
That's
a
okay,
thousand
that's okay.
questions, but like, what is, like, being from Australia, like, what's your ethnicity? Is it Australian or is it?
That's a great question, because nobody's really asked me that before. So
Well, you're in the right place.
I like that question, because people just assume, okay, she's Australian. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm Australian because I was born there, but my ethnicity is, my mother is from Macedonia, which is in Europe, and my father is Croatian. So that is my
Nice.
ethnicity. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice.
And I speak the languages, so I'm very happy about that.
Wow.
So how many languages do you speak?
Well, so I would say 5, but they're very the Balkan region where I come from, the languages are similar. So that's why I know so many languages.
Wow.
Yeah. But they are different though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now we have the context of
Yes.
you're born into this world. You have a sibling.
Yes, my brother,
And-
Marco. Yeah.
So
Wha- how-
you're old. You're the oldest.
He is 11 months
Okay.
older than me.
Okay.
We're born in the same year. We're
Oh.
almost like twins.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And how old were you when your dad left and the household broke up?
9 years old.
Okay.
I was 9. Yeah. And I haven't seen him or hung around with him in the outside world since. I'll probably be doing that once I go back home for a visit. But like I said, him being incarcerated, obviously taught me a lot, because I saw the lavish life where I had everything I wanted. And then I also saw the broke life where I was pretty much, me and my family had no help. We were on the street, you know. So we had to endure a lot. But I love the fact that I went through that, because now I can say, I mean, seeing both sides of the spectrum, that's not something that everybody could do, you know, and it teaches you a lot.
Oh, yeah. I would imagine that your mom, I'm assuming, would be a very strong person to get through that with 2 little ones.
She is very strong. And I know a lot of people say their mothers are strong, but my mother is very strong, because she, like, you know, when my father, you know, went and got incarcerated, she, you know, she could have, you know, done what most people do, you know, just go, you know, find somebody else for some support or stuff like that. But, you know, to this day, she never, you know, went against my father. She stuck to her job. She paid every bill, paid the house, you know, the mortgage, kept a roof over our heads. And I don't know how she did it, because we actually lived a pretty good life for being in the situation that she was in and having really no help around her. So maybe that's another reason why I'm, you know, such a strong woman. You know, I focus on I want to help others, you know. I'm not a person who asks for help. I'd rather help somebody else. That's the type of person I am.
And so you were that way at a very early age. So at 4,
Yes.
5, 6, that was who you were.
Yes, a lot of people said to me, and it's true, you could, you know, if I showed you videos, it would prove it. You know, even from a little girl, like I have memories like from 2 years old where I was having a real conversation. And like, it kind of relates to my music. It's a little funny, but I'm a great person, but I had a very spicy mouth. Like, I was always very smart for my years. And then obviously as I got older and older, you know, I got smarter and smarter.
It's something to say.
Yes.
Okay, so at this young age, dad's gone. Are you a daddy's daughter? Like, are you?
Oh, yes, completely.
So that must have just broke your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. That was one of the hardest things I had to go through. Because like you said, you know, I am a daddy's girl. I'm not going to lie about that. I was. And then, you know, out of nowhere, you're having this great life with your dad. And then boom, one night, you know, you're sleeping at 3 a.m. and your mum wakes you up and says, wake up, you know. I didn't know what was going on. I was 9 and I just got woken up in the middle of my sleep. But, you know, basically there was a bunch of agents at the house, and, you know, they raided my whole entire house. And, you know, I just saw my father in handcuffs, and the look he gave me was just heartbreaking. Like, he just knew it was all over. And I was too young to, like, really tap into my emotions. But overall, going through that, I'm not going to lie to you, that did break me. It did break me in many ways, which I didn't realize at the time. But I remember going to school and I got sick one time, like really, really sick. And I didn't even know what it was. So I went to the doctors and I said, what's wrong with me? All this stuff started coming up on my skin and stuff. And the doctor said, oh, you must be having your exam soon. And I said, no, I'm only 14.
Oh, like stress.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, okay. Because, you know, this is what you have. And what you have I only see it in older people. So I was a little girl. I didn't even realize what I was going through, but must have been a lot, because, you know, it did have an effect on me. I'm not going to lie about that. A big impact on my life. But I love it because it made me the person I am today.
Okay, so so this show, we always talk about health. That's what we do, right?
Yes.
And for me, music is very healthy.
Yes, it is.
You know what I mean? Like it's it can make you smile.
Yes.
It can make you sad.
Yeah.
It can give you that opportunity to express yourself.
Yes.
Which obviously that's what happened.
Exactly.
So tell us how you discovered rap.
Right. Okay. So
And how you got to where you are.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, in Australia, I did acting classes for over 10 years. So I have a lot of experience in the acting field. And that's really my main profession, to be honest. But when I came to LA, I was around so many music people. And, you know, my manager, Show Off, you know, he's the one. I'm not going to lie. He's the one. He was, I guess, bored one night. And he's like, get on the microphone. And I was like, I don't want to get on the microphone. You know, go do that with your music people. I don't do music. And then he's like, just get on the microphone. And so I tried it. And then he explained to me basically, like, if you can do acting, you can do music, because it's all just an act. And I was like, okay, that sounds kind of believable. So I got on the microphone and I started basically imitating my favorite rappers and stuff. Because before I even came to LA, obviously everybody's got their favorite music and stuff. And before I was even on any camera or anything like that, you know, even being in the car, anybody's capable of doing it. I think you just have to find the confidence. So the acting helped, though, because even to this day when I make my songs, a lot of people tell me that I'm just too quick because, you know, most people have to sit there and practice their music. And don't get me wrong, that's something I have to do as well. But sometimes the reason I say that is because sometimes I'll get a song and a few hours later I'll record it and I don't even listen to the song. I just read the words, which I know is not something that, you know, you should learn your music for sure. But I'm just saying that to state that I'm a very quick learner. And everybody has noticed that. That's why I think a lot of people want to work with me.
Very nice.
Yeah. And when I emulate in my music, when I emulate my characters, they come from my favorites. So like I really look up to people like real people, you know, hardcore people like that, especially went through things in their life. Like say, for example, Ice Cube, you know, I like Lil Kim's persona. I think she's, you know, I like women like that. You know, they have like a strong persona, you know, like you can't mess with them. You don't look at them as an average female. And that's who I really feel like I'm that person. And that's why my music comes out
Like that.
like that. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that
do you talk
so
about
much.
So did you take some of that pain from losing your dad and what took place after that? Isn't in your current music?
Yes, no, it's definitely in my current music. So obviously I haven't released my entire project, which is about to be released, mind you. But I do take a lot of what happened to me and amplify it into my music. What I mean by that is, obviously, like I mentioned before, losing my father was one of the hardest things that happened to me. And then I went on to my drama lessons, and I was luckily, thanks to God, I was able to perform so well. And I had a natural talent. It wasn't really taught to me. I only went to drama just to learn some extra stuff. It was more natural. But now when I do my music, when we do the songwriting and stuff like that, my manager Showoff and I, you know, sometimes before we start a song, you know, he'll ask me, okay, so what do you feel like talking about today? And, you know, if I'm feeling some type of way, depending if I went through something, you know, yesterday or even back into my early childhood, I always have a really good story. That's why my music comes out really good, because of the experiences I've had, and I talk about them in my music. And then when I perform them, because it's relating to a personal experience, it's like, it just comes out so natural, so good.
Right.
And I just can't wait to put it on camera. It just feels so good. It makes me feel good. And I'm not going to lie to you. Like you said, music makes you feel different emotions, right? And that's 100% accurate, because I can't think of a day when I'm going through an emotion. It depends what emotion that is. I put on a specific artist and I listen to them, and they do make me feel a lot of feelings.
Right.
But then when I put on my music, I'm careful because I know the world's about to hear it. And I just can't wait to release my project because I have different messages. I'm not doing what everybody else is doing right now. That's all I have to say.
You're not Cardi B?
No.
No. You know, and I have a question, because you did go through something really traumatic at a young age, and it sounds like you were already sort of working on your acting at that time. So you're already involved in that. And so my question would be then, how did you stay or stick to it? Because I could imagine how a lot of people, if they go through something traumatic, they might go the opposite way. They might become more of an introvert and not want to share those things and hide from the world and not put themselves out there for scrutiny. And you were young, and I guess how is it that you kind of just faced through that and continued with what you believed in?
Well, that's a fantastic question. I can answer that by telling you, don't get me wrong, I had troubles. Like, I went through a lot of stuff, but like I said before, I'm the type of person, I don't really tell people my problems. I just sort of deal with them by myself. So when I was going to my acting classes, don't get me wrong, when I wasn't there, when I was leading up to going there, it's like sometimes when people go to the gym, it's like, oh, I don't want to do that. But once you're there, it's like, oh, okay, this is cool. That's sort of how it was. Like, don't get me wrong, I love drama, but sometimes I used to have a lot of anxiety from things that, like depression, anxiety, stress, everything from a very young age that I shouldn't even be experiencing. It was very unusual. Nobody understood what I was going through unless I spoke to an adult. But I think the thing that kept me going was that once I got there and I got to play characters and step outside of my world and show people, you know, different characters, I think that's what makes me feel really good. And, you know, like I said, going through what I went through did teach me a lot, because when I went to acting one time, they told us to do a monologue where you perform your own script. And I had one about my mother of dying of cancer. That was what I was performing. I didn't practice the script because it was too long. I remember saying to myself, oh, this is too long. I'll just get there on the day and just, fluke it, whatever. I'll do better next week.
Yes.
Well, when I did that monologue, somehow real tears just started coming out of me. I didn't even know that was going to happen. It just happened out of nowhere, but I think that was the pain from my past. But either way, long story short, I did the scene so well that I captivated everybody that was in that studio, in the audience. Even my acting teacher, I could see his face. He looked at me like, oh, whoa, and I was just a little girl. And then I ended up winning the best monologue of the year. I won a big trophy, and that was being in competition with the whole school, not just little kids, but adults too. And
Nice.
I won that, from everybody else.
Wow.
So, safe to say, I think I did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's how
Nice.
it helped.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess in my head, I'm still thinking about like your dad, and you said you haven't seen him since that day.
I've visited him in jail, but that's,
Is he still in
Right.
jail?
No, he just got out about a year ago. And, I'm very proud of him because, most people would say, oh, somebody who spent so much of their life in jail and done all these terrible things, they brush him off like, okay, they're doomed.
Right.
Yes.
But he's so intelligent. He came out. He already has a successful construction business. So he's already doing that. He's already well on his way. He's doing better than most people I know. And he just came out of jail. So, that's another one of my inspirations. For
Well, it
that.
sounds like your mom and your dad are just driven.
They are.
And they're back. They're still in Australia. So are you the only one here of your family?
Yeah, I'm here by myself. I came out here with my best friend, but he left shortly after. But overall, I've been here by myself this entire time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you came here with no manager,
Yeah.
like with
right.
nothing really.
Yep. I just came.
Got off a plane.
That's crazy.
It was actually funny because when I came here, I was actually coming here because I was bored and I just finished all my studies back home.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't even want to come here. This was my friend's idea.
What did your I guess your mom would have been, did she support that? Did she think you're crazy? Like, what did they say?
Well, she always supports anything I do. But because I've been here for so long, obviously now she's on my phone saying, okay, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? Because she misses me, obviously. It's been a few years. But overall, she does support me because she knows that when people have dreams, you got to stand by them, because she wasn't able to do what she really wanted. She didn't get to do and accomplish her dreams as that she had when she was a little girl. So that's something she's admitted to me. So she always supports everything that I do. She was the one that when I asked her about when I first started acting, I told her, look, this is what I want to do. She didn't tell me to do it. That's something that I wanted. And she, through everything she was going through, she somehow managed to take me to my drama class every single week for over 10 years.
Okay,
Wow.
so help me get this. You come here, just come.
Yeah.
Your friend leaves,
Yes.
and was it a vacation? Like, how did it go from just getting here, walking around, to becoming a rapper and superstar?
Yeah, that's my point. So, okay. I've been to LA before on business trips and stuff like that, because I've been to LA numerous times before I came this time.
Okay.
But that's what I was trying to say. This time was the first time. It was really just a vacation. I did finish my studies, and it was my friend's idea. He said, okay, I'm going to go to LA. You want to come? And I was like, okay, not really. But then he kept talking to me about it. I was like, okay, I kind of want to come now. I got nothing to do anyway. So we just came here for a vacation, to be quite honest. That's true. But obviously I was networking while I was out here.
But was it networking? It wasn't for music though, right? It was for acting?
Yeah, for acting.
That's right. It was. That is actually very funny. Yeah, it was for acting because I never focused on music like that. I was really introduced to it by my manager, which we started, to answer your question, we started off as friends, really. And then, I was just following him around to the studios and seeing how he works with, his artists. Because we had the studio 17 Hertz, which was on Lancashire. I forgot the suburb. I keep forgetting the suburb names. But yeah, we had that studio over there. So I was just basically working with him. And even a year into it, even though I was around the music, I still didn't even think to do it. But it was really I can't lie, it was him. He told me to get on the microphone. And then after I got on the microphone, that's when I really started taking it seriously, because I saw that my music is actually very good. And I'm not saying that because it's myself. If it wasn't good, I'd just be like, don't worry about that. But no, I actually really enjoy my music. I like my persona. I like how I come off on my songs. And knowing how much knowledge I have in my brain and stories to tell, I reckon I could keep music coming and coming and coming, never ending.
So that's it. You feel like you have that story to tell, and music has become your medium.
Yes, because they say, what's your favorite part about music and what's your least favorite part? My least favorite part, I won't lie because I'm not a liar, but my least favorite part is really sort of like sitting in the studio and like sort of recording the song. My favorite part, which, I know that's funny, but my favorite part, getting up and performing or doing the music videos, because that relates back to acting as well. But that is my favorite part.
Okay, so with all these rappers, right? Like I remember when we were in here talking to Chuck D.
Yeah.
And we had a conversation about some of the differences between some of the new school people and the people from back in the day that are still like doing their thing, right? I said, what are some of the differences? And he said that they trained, like his group trained really hard to be able to perform.
Yep.
So they take care of themselves in a way where they can maximize their performance.
Right.
Like they'll be working out and practicing being able to still deliver the lyrics.
Right.
Do you have that is that your work ethic, or like what does separate you from a Cardi B and like some of these other popular female rappers?
Yeah.
Well, to answer that question, what separates me, I truly believe, is nowadays everybody knows the type of music that's going on. You have, your Cardi B's, Megan Thee Stallion and all that, whoever else is out now. And not to make it sound unusual, but today's music is really, I don't know, if you ask my real opinion, they don't really know what they're talking about. That's what I feel. Like it's really just music.
You feel as they're lying is not real?
Yeah, like they're only talking about simple stuff. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes I hear some good stuff, but
like surface things,
like WAP.
Yeah, that's
not a deep conversation.
I mean, that would be good for some people, like, in some occasion, like they do need that music. Like, for example, if you go to the strip club, I guess that's a perfect song, So you do need music like that. But what separates me is that I've been watching all the new female artists that are coming out now, especially because, I'm sort of going into that lane. And I'm happy every time I watch them, because I'm like not like any of these ones. And that's what's going to separate me from everybody else. Because my biggest inspiration in music, one of my biggest, like Eminem, for an example, when I think of real rap music and stuff like that, like when he raps those lyrics with that emotion, you could tell that he's lived what he's talking about. You could tell that he means that. When he's rapping, he's giving you a story. Like you could watch his video. Like I remember when my uncle was watching his video, he was like, God damn, like, whoa, man, this dude. You're not gonna get that reaction from like what's going on today. Yeah, I shake my ass.
Right. You just listen to the bass line.
It's just simple. That's what I mean by it's simple stuff.
All right, so share with us like some of the words in some of your songs.
Yeah.
Like,
some of the words in some of my songs.
Yeah.
Okay, let me do my favorite song, Top Off. Okay, well, Top Off is a song about, well, that's not really more about meaning. That one's more of like a show-off song where I'm going to be riding around like my nice Benz, my brand new Benz, and it's really just showing off, saying like I got the baddest girls around me and stuff like that. But if you hear the song, which is not released yet, but if you hear the song, you'll know that there's a message behind it the same time that I'm talking about that stuff.
Right.
It's not simplified, like I said, with today's artists. So, wait, I'm trying to think on the spot my favorite lyric. I have a lot of favorite lyrics. I just can't think of any on the spot. That's all.
It's one of those things like Fight the Power, right? When I think of, Chuck D and Public Enemy, I think Fight the Power, and I knew what was going on during that time. So that song resonated with people during that time in a big way. And it still it resonates now.
And for sure.
I do have one song. It's called, because my name's Califani, and one of the songs is called Fani Montana. So we just cut off the Cali in the beginning. And that's basically a record, which kind of explains it with the name. It's really orientated and, based around Scarface, because that's like my favorite movie. And it's my favorite movie, because of the life I lived, with my father and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, that's...
I bet you got people intrigued right now
I
going,
know.
who is
Well,
her
what
father?
was-
Like,
I
what's
know.
his name?
They're like, let's take a little detour here. Let's see, who's the dad?
Well, I mean, back in Australia, you guys have mob wives in America. I know you guys
Right.
have mob
The
wives.
show, yeah.
Well, I was on the Australian version.
Whoa.
Oh, cool.
That's what we did in Australia, okay?
Okay.
So,
Some people are gonna be like,
Wait, well, it is interesting because remember when I said I pick up vibes or energy, and it is what it is, and most of the time I pick up right.
Right.
So when I said I feel that you are real,
yes.
Yes.
I was picking that up,
You're right.
and I can feel it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's some people, Barbara.
Yeah.
There are some people that if you're around them, the bully won't give them a hard time.
The what?
The bully.
The bully. Yeah.
Like, so for instance, you see like the Cardi B's getting in fights with other rappers, right?
Yeah.
What was the one that was on Nicki Minaj?
Oh, yeah.
Right, it was Nicki and Cardi. They were going to get in this fight.
Oh right.
And neither one of them come across tough like that to me, like real. But I feel like they wouldn't bully you. Even though they don't know you, they would
Right.
feel the energy from you saying, yeah, I'm not messing with her.
Well, and I think I think it is a vibe, right? Because when you meet someone, especially for the first time, like we did just meet you,
Yeah.
But you can pick up an energy if someone is guarded,
Yes.
and if that guardian is because they're just shy, maybe they're just shy, or if there's really something that they're hiding, so then it may come across as they're just not authentic, right? That they're
Right.
trying to portray a certain thing or a certain persona. And you know what? I had to open up the door on you, right? And we were like, hey, and it was
Yep.
just a very natural greeting.
Yes.
And then you just kind of go from that energy. I agree. I
See,
think
if you greet her with love, you got back love.
I did.
But if you greet her with attitude, I think you may be
like,
get
oh,
ready.
what's up? Yeah,
Get ready, Barbara.
right. I'd get a heel in the thigh.
I mean, I like, I was raised on a respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I respect every single human being, whether they have $0, whether they look good, whether they don't look good. You know what I mean? I'm very nice to everyone, and I'm very humble. But yes, when I pick up on energies and I see it could be a male or a woman.
Yeah.
Mostly women, but they give you
This,
you can just
the once over.
Yeah, you get weird vibes, and it's like you shouldn't do that to a person until you know you should do that to the person.
Until you have a reason why.
Yeah, exactly. So, like you said, this is something that I always say to my manager as well. Whatever you give me, I'm gonna quadruple it back. So if you're nice to me, like say for example, you buy me a meal, I'm gonna remember that, and I'm gonna do a lot more for you down the track. If you be rude to me, you I don't mean to talk about that stuff, to be honest. But
Yeah.
If somebody's rude to me, I'm not afraid to act on it. You know,
Are you
what I'm trying to say?
Pisces? Are you a Pisces?
I'm a Sagittarius like Nicki Minaj.
Because I'm a Pisces. Like, oh, it sounds like me.
Now, between Nicki and Cardi, which one feels more real to you?
Nicki 100%.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not knocking Cardi, but Nicki has been from today's music. I don't really listen to today's music, but if I had to name a rapper, Nicki Minaj has been one of my favorites for many years. She's a Sagittarius, I feel like she's like me, She acts the same, like she's bossy. She's a bossy female. She's not afraid to tell people how it is, know. So that's why I like her.
Nice.
Yeah.
So did you get in fights when you were a kid, like going to school and people knew that your dad went to jail? You know what I mean? And they could give you a hard time?
You're all scrappy.
You know what? Before my dad went to jail, I used to get into fights just for the fun of it because I was always like a little boy. I'm not going to lie to you. Like I used to, and it was never a female either. It was always a boy. I always used to fight with boys. But then after my dad went to jail, obviously people are always going to test you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I had people coming up to me, talking some stuff. And then I think
gosh.
they were just testing me because then when I would turn around, because I like to keep quiet. I'm the type of person, I don't want to fight anyone unless I really need to, because I know what I could do if I was to let it out. If I was to let the beast out, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I had people testing me, and I think they were just testing me because when they would do what they did, they said, okay, come meet me tomorrow. And I was the type okay, let's go. And I was there bright and early on the dot. All right, come on, let's go.
And
Let's get ready. And then, you know, I had this happen to many times, and then the girls, when they saw me do that, they would just be like, okay, no, I was just joking. Like, I mean, you know, they just brush it off or do some stuff like that.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, they just scared, you know, and then I'd leave them alone because I know who they really are. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody was I'm not afraid to speak my mind. I'm not. I try to remain very respectful towards others, though, because like I said before, I really cherish human beings who look out for other people, who are great human beings. I would give the world to somebody like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I really appreciate those human beings, and that's why I try to be that human being. But of course, if something, you know, gets in my way, I'm not afraid to act on it.
Well, it seems like that's the kind of energy or attitude that you want to have in Hollywood. So as you're navigating in that part of the industry, have you been tested, or because you already have good relationships with people, you're around good people that aren't that negative?
Well, that's a great question. But so far in LA, I haven't been tested like that, because I'll be honest, I have met the right people. I have the correct guidance. Like my manager, you know, Show Off, he introduced me to all the right people. So a lot of people respect me. I haven't really, no. Like I said before, I would never start an argument with somebody else. So you have to really do something to me for me to act on it. You know.
No, I mean, I get that, because people can be so nasty from a distance, especially with social media, right? They'll have all kinds of criticism, all kinds of things to say just to judge you based on whatever. They don't know you, what you might have to say, what you look like,
all
your
the time.
attitude.
Yes.
You know, there's always something, and people can be really nasty about that. And how do you stay authentic to you? Because I could imagine that can be hard. They say you're a woman, you're this beautiful woman. Why you come off like that? You know, or whatever it has they have to say.
Well, that's interesting, because this is something that I always say to people when I come in conversation with it. So I like the question. I get comments like that online, you know, and most people will get hurt over it, or read it and just ignore it or something like that, you know, or tell other people. When I get bad comments, I get very happy, because I'm like, okay, because the way I look at it is you are doing this for a reason. Even if it's a bad comment, I don't care if you're on my video commenting, you're fat, you're this, you're that. I don't care. Thank you. Tell me some more things, because you're making my comments go up. That's the way I look at it. To be honest, that's really the way I look at it. So I'm not, it never bothers me.
Good for you.
It never bothers me.
Okay, now since we're in the health and wellness space, you see people that go into Hollywood or entertainment, and they either start to morph and transform and look more fit, and then you see those people who it's like everything is going wrong and their health is declining. Yeah. How are you taking care of you as you're pursuing this career?
Well, that's a good question too, because I'm not going to lie to you. I've never really been the type of person to, like, you know, go on a diet or like watch my weight or anything like that. So I've always just eaten what I've wanted to be honest. But ever since I came to LA, you know, I think I became a healthier person, to be honest. I thought it was going to be the opposite way around, you know, especially considering, like you said before, LA, I'm not going to lie, LA is a bit of a weird city. You get a lot of, you know, I don't want to say too much, but you get a lot of weird things happening around here.
Things thrown at you.
Yeah, there's just too much, like, it's like a dog-eat-dog world. That's what I say to people. That's the shortest way that I could describe that, you know? So you really got to, you know, be strong for yourself, which is not a problem for me. That's easy. But
I mean, I can see you at a party and you want the French fries and you're like, I'm going to eat those fries.
Damn it.
But in LA, you do find yourself in circles where they're looking at you going, she's eating those fries. With attitude.
Yeah, they're like, it's like, what is it called? Food judgment.
They're like, so you eat gluten?
I've been around a lot of those type of people, yes. But you know how I like to approach a situation like that? There's a lot of different types of human beings in this world. So even if I go to a upscale party, you know, with, you know, people who act like, ooh, you know, like that, I will still be true to myself, even though I could tell they're probably talking about me and doing faces and stuff like that. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we're all human. So nobody could act perfect against another human being. You know what I mean? So even those people that appear to be perfect, I mean, don't tell me you don't eat no French fries. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's why I always do what I want to do, because as long as I'm a good person, I know that God will see that and I will be blessed. It doesn't matter what anybody else is thinking or how they think I should be behaving or speaking or what I should be eating. You know what I mean? Because people will always try to
For sure.
come in and tell you what to do or judge you.
Right. And, you know, overall wellness is all that, right? It is what you eat, how you move, but it's also how you feel about yourself.
Definitely.
You know, the things that you do that make you feel good. And if, you know,
I think
how that all projects.
Yeah, no, I think that's the most important part about how you view yourself. Because anybody, there could be a lot of people that come into you here and tell you, you know, just to feel better about yourself or this or that. They try to give you advice on how to improve. But you know what? If you don't truly believe that within yourself, I don't think you're ever really going to truly get there. The thing that's helped me the most overcome battles in my life is sitting myself down and be like, you know what? You are that person. You know what I mean? You're strong. You're a real boss. You know what I mean? Everything that's happened to you up until this point in life has happened to you for a reason. You know? So I'm not worried about... I used to worry. That's what I'm trying to say. Because I've become stronger and stronger over the years. I've always been strong, obviously, considering the life I lived. But, you know, I have a goal in my life to be so strong. Like, I know what that goal is. And once I achieve it, you know, nobody or nothing can do or say anything. And I think that a lot of people struggle with getting to that point once you've reached pure peace within yourself. And that's all to do with how you speak to yourself on a daily basis and how you view yourself and how you handle situations when they upset you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And you never wanted to be a boxer? Martial artist?
My dad was a boxer, to be honest. And when shortly after he did go and get incarcerated, I actually did boxing. You're like, I need this. I did, but they said I was really good at it, but I won't lie. You know, at the time I was just, you know, mentally a little gone from everything that was going on. So I did it for a year, but I wasn't focused. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't focused on it. That's why I gave it up. But don't get me wrong, that's something that I would like to do. Like, I've been telling my brother even recently, I wanna do something. Like, I wanna learn how to fight like those you know, those Japanese people in those karate movies and stuff like that. I don't want to just fight. I want to learn how to really fight, like a real
like Jet Li. You want to be like Jackie Chan.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Well, Barbara has the yellow belt, right?
Yeah. It was green. It was green, damn it.
She got up the green belt.
Yeah. It was a long time ago. But you mentioned at the very start of the interview, you said something about almost like your why, like why you're doing, like you have a purpose some early on. And I tie that back to when I think of, let's say, my clients, because I'm a nutritionist, help people lose weight, get healthy, get healthier. And the clients that I see that succeed and stick to things in the long run, is they have that, and it's different for everybody, whatever their why is, their purpose, their goal, but it's really strong. And, you know, and yes, they get hit by things, being distracted, they get disappointed or whatever it may be, but they always go back to that central line, or they're able to. And it seems like with you, that's kind of what held you to stick to this course, because like you said, it wasn't easy. I mean, is that correct? Or because I would imagine you got hit by a lot of things.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, a lot of people would know whenever you're trying to do anything in life, things are just going to happen that are going to knock you off your course. I mean, it's inevitable. You can't even stop it. And I mean, some cases can be worse than others. And if I'm honest, I haven't had, you know, the best things happen to me throughout my life. They have knocked me off my course plenty of times in very, very deep ways, where almost like, you know, you can't get up out of bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, you know, like you said, I get back up on the horse. I can't be stopped. No matter what, I can't be stopped. Like, for example, if something doesn't work out for me and I'm trying to go for it, and that door closes, I'm going to find another door. I really will. I'm not going to stop, because I know who I am as a human being. And I know there's not a lot of people like me out there. I've met a lot of human beings. I can say that I'm stronger than a lot of men too. I really am.
What would you say then if you were to give someone advice? Like, if let's say they didn't have a character like yours, what would be your advice to say, well, this is how you could stay on course, regardless of their journey?
Yeah, you're right. Because I've had a lot of people, I think people can pick up off of my energy that I'm strong, because I have had a lot of people throughout the years ask me, I could tell they ask me questions, like when they're going through stuff, like, how do I handle this? How do I do this? I mean, everybody has a different story to tell and different things that they're going through. But if I was to give advice to somebody else, I would just say, realize who you are as a human being. Don't let any other human being bring you down, because there's going to be a lot of people that try to get in your way. That's also inevitable. Focus on whatever goal it is that you have, and go to bed every night and think on that goal, and wake up thinking about that goal too. And yeah, you're going to get distracted here and there, because it happens to me. I'm going to be honest. So, you know, that's okay. That's fine. But just stick to your goal. And if you have any negativity, sometimes it's good. You could write it out. You could journal it out. Sometimes that kind of lets some pains go and stuff like that. But overall, I wouldn't, because I think the most negativity comes from other human beings, to be honest. We could be negative on ourselves, yeah. But I think mostly when people get dragged down into the ditch, it's usually from another human being. Because, for example, you're not going to get, you know, if you have a pet dog, your dog is not going to ever make you feel bad, wake you up and give you a shitty day. That's not really going to happen. It's always going to be another human being. So you just got to focus on you and realize why you started in the first place. That's one of the most important things for me, because sometimes I get a hard time jumping back on the horse. But you really got to just tap in here and just realize, why did I do this in the first place? And am I going to give everything up just because I'm having a bad day? That doesn't make sense. And I also think about the future and say to myself, okay, so when I get older and I look back, will I regret making the decisions I did that day? And that really helps me a lot, because sometimes I can't do some things, but then I'm saying, hang on, I know I'm going to regret this if I don't do it later. I'm going to do it no matter how unmotivated I might feel that day. So that's the advice I would give.
See, I like that. That was great.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of people could benefit from what
Hell
you just
yeah.
said.
I hope they can.
Yeah. And
I hope they can.
because it's interesting. There's one of my friends created this thing called the A Club, and the A is for achievement.
Yeah.
And they're getting ready to launch this, and it's a club for people who want to achieve whatever it is in their life. So it's all those things that we said we wanted to achieve, but we never did achieve.
Right.
So there then becomes this environment or club where all the people who want to achieve all congregate. So your environment now is supportive of each other on who wanting to achieve.
Yes.
You support each other.
That's very helpful.
And then there's a way to make money, because you can invite other people to the club,
Right.
and you make money because you introduce something positive to them. So I say all of that because the way she explained the why, like, why did you do it in the first place? Because oftentimes we talk about, like, what's your why, which is very powerful.
Right.
Yes.
But I haven't asked anyone recently, like clients that I work with, why did you do this in the first place? Because somewhere that got lost.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so then you're searching, like, what is my why? What is my why? What is my why?
I was thinking
It
about
always
mine
happens.
too, and I was like, I was reminded of mine too. I'm like, oh, that's actually good.
Yeah, why did you do it in the first place?
It's very
Yeah.
important to remember that.
Yeah.
And you may be a counselor one day.
She seems like she's got wisdom.
I could be, trust me.
Yeah. I'm gonna sit down and be like,
I think I could be. I think
Yeah.
the more stuff you go through in your life, I think it just makes you
we.
very intelligent.
Yeah, you seem wise beyond your years. I mean, I don't know exactly how old you are, but you do seem, because I think you've experienced so much.
Yeah, everybody tells me that. Everyone that I meet.
Yeah.
There hasn't been one.
Which is
person-
good.
Yeah.
So I do have some questions about nutrition with you,
Okay.
because as Barbara has clients in Australia, I have clients in Australia.
Yeah.
Know a lot of people in Australia. Can't wait to go and visit.
Hell, I know.
it's
that's
awesome.
the
Yeah.
missing link.
Can't wait.
It's awesome.
And been learning a lot in the last few years about the indigenous people. So I have questions about that.
Okay.
But my first question would be, what food were you eating in Australia that you just can't really get here in the States, that you
Ooh.
miss?
Oh my God, that is okay. That's so funny, because I've been talking about this the whole week. I'm on the phone to my best friend, and I'm like, I can't wait to get there, because I'm missing out on all that food.
Yeah.
Like, you guys have wonderful food here in LA, but say for an example, like, you guys have like a lot of the Latin culture over here.
Yes.
So you have a lot of Mexican food. Whereas if you go to Australia, if you try to find a Mexican, you're going to be looking for a very long time. Like,
Oh.
you just won't find one. And the same thing with the Mexican restaurants. You don't really find that there either. So Australia is multicultural, just like America, but our cultures from Melbourne anyway, and I know Sydney does it too, for sure. We have a lot of the Middle Eastern people over there. And I'm going to tell you for sure, I cannot find that Middle Eastern food that I eat in Australia over here. There's something that we have. It's called a HSP pack. And it's like, I can't explain. It's like these big ass fries, and you put cheese, and you can put anything you want on it, really. You different choices. Oh my God. Like, you get your own meats and stuff like that. It's really delicious. But I've tried going to like the same sort of restaurants out here to see if I could match the taste. And I haven't been successful.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. So the way I deal with that is I just enjoy the things that America has good to offer. And then when I get back home, I'm going to enjoy that, you know? Or I was thinking maybe cross over, you know, bring the American food into Australia and bring the Australian food into America, because I think if they taste the food that I'm talking about, they'll love.
So do you have a new favorite food here that you wouldn't normally have in Australia?
Well, a new favorite food, I'm gonna be very simple. And it hasn't changed for many years. But
she's like,
it's gonna be funny.
I'm now gonna hear this.
No, it's very simple, okay? It's Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. It's very simple. Yeah. I mean, I eat everything. You know, I'm not a fussy eater, so I really could eat anything. But I just keep it simple because I'm not going to lie to you guys. My favorite thing, you know, to eat is burgers. That's one of my favorite things, you know.
Yeah.
But
Chick-fil-A.
I'm trying to remember my favorite restaurant, though. I just forgot which one it was. I forgot the name of it. Oh, I think it was The Lobster. The Lobster in Santa Monica. That's what it was, right?
The lobster?
Yeah. that sounds good.
Yes.
There is an Australian snack. It's a cookie that people get it all the time. So I also was in bodybuilding, and so when bodybuilders would go to Australia, they would get these cookies. And when they were done with their show, they would all talk about these Australian cookies, and I can't think of the name of it.
So
I thought
look
you
it
would
up.
say that.
Yeah, look it up on your
I'm
phone.
going to look it up.
You're not. Well, you said a cookie.
I think it has chocolate in it too. It's a chocolate cookie.
It's not a Tim Tam, is it?
That's it. That's it. People like rave about the Tim Tams. They're like, and they're like
They're
sending
called
back
Tim Tam?
Tim Tams.
Yes.
Tim Tams.
Yes.
So Tim Tams.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Okay.
right.
That's it.
All right, so
People
our
go
Australia people,
crazy.
send us some Tim Tams.
Oh, they're awesome.
We'll do it on the show.
I want to try that.
Yeah.
Everyone loves them. Everybody keeps asking me about Tim Tams. That's why I was like, because you said cookie, I was like, hang on, maybe she's not talking about that. But
Yeah.
everybody loves Tim Tams. And
Tim
now,
Tams.
ever since they became so popular, they came out with all these different flavors. So it just makes it better.
Oh, see?
Yeah,
Nice.
we
Yeah.
have all the flavors. So
Okay, so what are some foods that people eat in Australia that most people in the States would go, you know what I mean? Like in China, if they eat the brain of a monkey,
right.
I think that would make me go, ooh, like
Okay.
crocodile. But I guess they kind of eat that. Do they eat
Yeah.
crocodile in Australia?
Not everybody, but yeah, some people do. And also same thing with kangaroos, you know.
So they eat kangaroo?
Yeah, they do. I mean, I thought it was illegal to kill the kangaroos. But I remember going to the supermarket and seeing, like, you know, how you go into the meat section. And I was like, what's this? And then I read the sticker and it said kangaroo. I was like, ew, I don't eat kangaroo. You
So I bet it tastes like chicken.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, that's what they always say.
Everything tastes
Snake,
like kitchen,
everything
right?
tastes like chicken.
I said kitchen, chicken.
Yeah. But like as far as Australia goes with their cultural food, they're very simple. They like their meat pies, you know. With their desserts, they got the pavlova cakes, which is like a fruity dessert, you know. So it's nothing. What I'm trying to say is Australians don't really eat anything too out of the ordinary that maybe Americans won't try to eat, apart from what I'm saying is the kangaroo meat. I think that's one of the most weirdest things. And the alligators, like you said.
Okay.
They do eat that.
So what about the indigenous people? As an Australian,
Yes.
because my heart goes out to what I've been learning more and more about these people. The challenges that they have with alcohol, obesity,
Right.
dying younger than they're not living as long. And then you have a lot of people who really are going out of their way to protect them or to help them. But it's hard to reach them because they don't really want to be helped.
Right.
Yeah, they from my experience with the Aboriginals, I met a few of them. It's surprising because you'd think you'd see more of them, considering they were the first inhabitants of Australia.
Right.
But you don't really see them too much. I mean, like I said, I've met them and I've went to school with some of them. From my analysis on the Aboriginals, they're really cool people. They're really laid back. Some people say they like to argue a lot because like you said, they do like to drink their alcohol. But I think the reason they don't want to be helped is because the way I see it, I think they stick to their own community. You know what I
Right.
mean? They don't really wander off. Like, for example, if you go to the heart of the city and stuff like that, you won't even really find them there. The main place you would find them is on the outskirts, in the desert and stuff like that, in the Australian bush. That's where they like to be.
I guess that's kind of like how Native Indians in the States are.
Yeah.
Like they stay on the reservations. You don't really see a
Yes.
lot of Native Indians walking around Ventura.
Right.
That's exactly.
Because when you do see one, you go, whoa. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really cool because you,
Yeah.
you see something that you can only really see in a book.
Yeah, they're awesome, the Native Americans. I
Yes.
like them.
Yeah, good people.
Yeah.
And they're challenged with alcohol and their
Yeah,
health
for
as
sure.
well.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was
well,
thinking of
anyway.
something. Yeah.
Well, we are getting ready for our rapid fire. So,
Oh.
but go for it.
Yeah. So I was wondering, so do you find there's like a difference between, let's say, maybe the mood or the personality overall of, let's say, Americans versus Australians? Did you feel like, are we more friendly, less friendly, more stressed, less stressed, high strength, whatever? When you first came here, was there like a, because
I'll tell you the truth.
yes, let's hear it. Yeah.
Because I have been to both places. So I think, I'm not just saying this because I'm from there, but, well, I mean, I haven't explored the whole America, so I can't speak, but Los Angeles, I'm comparing you. So you guys are definitely more stressed, I think. And the Australian people just in general are much nicer people, yes. You'll hear stories from a lot of people. You could just ask them, I hear a lot of Americans, they've told me, I just got off at the airport. Oh my God, it was such a good experience. I'm
They're
like,
so nice.
yeah, you just got off at the airport. You haven't seen nothing yet. Because Australians like to drink their beer. You know what I mean? Their VBs, Victoria Bitter. Yeah. That's that's one of their favorite things to do. And they're just laid back and chill. And they're very down to earth. That's just really the way I could describe them. And that's why I'm saying I haven't explored the whole America, so I can't really say. But from being in Los Angeles, my experience, everybody's like always
Tense.
like on a rush. Like, I got to do
Yeah.
this. I'm always like,
Yeah.
calm down, Jesus. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, and that energy does rub off on me. So sometimes, like, my anxiety goes through the roof. I'm like, whoa, what is going on? Just because the way I see it is, I could do anything in this world, and I could just do it calmly.
Good. That's
The way I see some people out here doing it is like there's no time. Like, the world's ending tomorrow.
Right.
Like, just calm down. Yeah.
calm the hell down.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have about 10 minutes, you guys. And there's 1,000 questions that I still have, but we're going to go back and forth. So our goal is to ask you questions with you answering as fast as you can.
Okay.
Right? So, short answers so we can get in as many back and forth. You ready?
Oh,
You ready for
geez,
that,
I gotta
Barbara?
keep mine short. Okay.
Okay.
That's why I was like, okay, keep it short.
my, all right. You mind if I start?
Go,
Okay,
yes,
so
please.
who's your favorite male rapper of all time and why?
Has to be Eminem, because I could just relate to him in so many ways, just in regards to such a strong backstory, surviving that backstory, and flourishing unlike anybody thought that he ever would have. Everyone doubted him, and then he came out on top. And not only did he come out on top, but he came out on top so good that he literally killed everybody else in the game. And I'm pretty sure that's why a lot of people respect Eminem. He's like a rap god to me, like your song, a rap god. He is. That's why.
All right.
Love it. Nice.
I'm with you. I think Eminem is amazing.
Yeah,
I really
he's
do.
very talented.
Yeah. Do you think that you get more pushback as a female artist? And if so, how has that kind of like worked into your journey?
Are you saying pushback as a female artist with rap, right?
Yeah.
Well, I can see what you're saying with that. Yes, I have experienced a little bit of that in many different ways. But you know what I like to do when I see situations like that coming up onto me? I ignore it and I act like I don't even see it going on. And then the best way to prove people wrong is to do you. Walk in the room and own it. Do what you say you are. Well, I'm a rapper. Well, I'm going to show you what I do. And then that'll prove people, like, you'll prove yourself to people like that. Because I have had a lot of that. People look at you weird, like, oh, like even my accent, I get looks like she does that type of music and she talks like that. There's a lot of things that people have said to me and I said about me, but I keep it moving. I don't care. And when I can be around these people, I prove myself to them. And then that's when they zip their lips and like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so one of the things that I've seen over the years that stopped many women and men from being successful in the entertainment world is getting into a relationship that goes sour,
Yeah.
that creates disruption,
Right.
and then they lose sight of their dreams.
Right.
Is that going to happen to you? And how do you know it's not if you don't believe it is?
How do I know it's not? Okay.
Right.
Well, what you say is 1,000,000% correct. And a lot of people can testify to that. When you're in a relationship, I mean, even if you're not trying to be a celebrity, even if you're just trying to go to work for the day, I guess, if you're in a relationship and you're having a bad day, or, you guys get into an argument, it could really throw you off. And I'm here to tell you that I believe every experience that I've come through in my life, nothing will be able to stop me from what I'm trying to do. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not going to affect me and I'm not going to like feel, bad about it, a day or two or whatever. But like I said before, I'm going to get up back on the horse. Nothing would stop me chasing what I want to do. And I hope everybody else out there thinks just like I do. You can have, if you're having a bad relationship, that's fine. You can go through the pain. That's natural. You're a human being. But if you're set out to do something, don't ever forget your goal. Your goal and your relationship is two different things. You got to separate them. Keep them separated, no matter how much your feelings get involved. Keep that separated completely. That's what I do. That's how I'm going to handle that. And in the future, that's how I know it's not going to affect me.
Like I've never met someone who comes across that confident with the word do. When you say, that's what I do. It's like, it's going to happen because that's what I do. I feel like Mike Tyson in that. I'm like, I better get up and run.
She's looking straight at you.
Oh,
Right?
yeah,
She blank.
hey, so she says, hey,
Like, back off.
look,
Oh my God, yeah. I do
are you going to drink all that water? Yeah, that's what I do.
I do come off like that. I just realized.
Oh, God.
Right,
That's
there may
funny.
be a song in there like,
I know, we'll
that's
have to
what I
look for
do.
that. That's
Yeah.
what I do.
And when that's a hit, remember us. Let
And
us
then
come
look how
to the
nice
party.
she's smiling now, right?
You guys are funny.
That's funny.
Okay, Barbara,
I
so
got
this
one
may be
more.
the last question.
Yes, I got one
All
more
right.
for you. So, of all the things that we asked you, what's one thing that we didn't ask you that you feel like you'd want to share about you?
Well, you guys did ask me my favorite question, which is what separates me from everybody else. That's really something that I always want to address in every interview that I do, but I already have. So if it would be to be another question, it would probably be something about more deeper into my upbringing and how basically the suffering that I went through, and how I came out of it all, because I think that's one of the most interesting things, because most people go through things in their life and they do fall off, and I'm not going to blame them. Life gets hard, really hard, but that's why I'm here. I think I'm here to stay, because I'm coming into music with I'm not coming into music to make it like a 1 year thing or a 2 year thing and then see you later. No, my plans, I have everything mapped out. Basically, I've thought about this. Yes, I want to do music, and going the way it is right now, I'm really good at it. Great. Then I want to make it something of a career, meaning I don't want to do it for 15 minutes. No, I want to make it a lifetime thing. I want to try to basically get a star on the Walk of Fame. I'm not here for little small things, but obviously that's something you got to work your way up to. So from music, also I would like to obviously continue my passion in movies, because that's my first profession that I told you guys about.
Yeah.
So my plan is to do a lot of things. Once I become successful in the movie industry and everything like that, I have even plans to do stuff like, for example, Leonardo DiCaprio, the actor, he's very talented. Everybody always speaks about him. Like, that's my goal, something like that. An established person in your career that has the respect of the world. You're not just doing a 5-minute song. I don't want to knock anyone out, so I'm not going to say names, but it's not just like a song where everybody's shaking their butt to it for 5 minutes and then it becomes a thing of the past. No, make real songs that like 20 years down the track, they're still going to be heard. Like Ice Cube, people are still talking about the stuff he did in the industry. You see how he moved on to the movie industry as well, and he conquered that. That's along the lines of something that I want to do and accomplish in my life, and I believe I'm going to do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do.
That's what I'm going to do. California. Well, anyway, I want to say what an honor to meet you, and thank you for coming in studio.
Yes.
Thank you guys for having me. It was
Yeah.
an honor to meet both of you.
Yes.
And so we
Such a
will
pleasure.
obviously
Fun
make
time.
your links and Instagram. We'll make all that available so people can reach out to you, and
Yeah.
we'll show a little bit of the video when this goes live, so that people
Right.
can kind of get an idea of how amazing you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish you nothing but like major success.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, 'cause
I really
we-
enjoyed being
Yes.
on the show and answering the questions.
Yeah.
You guys asked me some things that I really wanted to put out there.
Good.
Well, good.
Yeah.
And I learned a big lesson today. Whenever I hear someone use the word "do," I'm gonna think, "Nah, they don't got it."
That's right. we have a spectrum now. It's like, oh, you don't really know what do means.
So with your weight loss clients, we have to tell them,
Like,
look,
what are you
when
gonna
you're
do?
serious,
Yeah.
I want you to go, Robert. I'm gonna do this.
And if they can't deliver, it's like, oh, next.
Well, we always end our shows by encouraging people to get healthy, be healthy, and as
Yeah.
always, Barbara,
Stay healthy.